Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So today is the last class in June. So I hope I can start the next class in July. So far, I'm not sure when we can start from India. Anyway, first, I very much appreciate all of you, have been attending my class for the precious Garland. When we think about the name of the scripture, the precious Garland, generally people, when the people, wear, beautiful jewelry, then the people become more beautiful, more nicer. The precious, the garland is symbolic of daily dharma practice. Then the daily dharma practice, also understanding of the dharma is look like, beautiful garland, beautiful, precious garland. Therefore, all of us have healthy body. Physically, we all look nice. When we reflect on our mind, the mental aspects, then we cannot see from the mental side. We can see I am very nice person because we have a lot of sense of hatred. We hate ourselves, we hate others, we hate the environment, we hate the weather condition. Also, when we reflect on our own attachment, we have all kinds of attachment, all kinds of ego, different levels of ego, different levels of pride, jealousy. When we're looking from the physical point of view, we are perfectly okay in our society. So we are much, physically much better than many other people. When we looking from the mental point of view, when we look at our own mind, when we watch our minds, we cannot feel, I am better than others. When we reflect on our minds, particularly the negative minds, then we feel, we will recognize we are very ugly person. We always angry with others, angry with our families. So many times we angry, ourselves. So when we have the perfect knowledge, perfect dharma knowledge, how to be calm, then you look much better. When we fully control all the negative thoughts, then you look, really nice person, physically very nice. Mentally, you are very calm. You don't have a lot of negative thoughts. Therefore, the knowledge, the knowledge of the dharma knowledge, and the practicing the dharmas are like the precious garland. When you practice dharma, you become more nice person. The name also is very important. So today, we will discuss, three practices as a summary in our previous study. So when we look at around us, we can see there's more than, like 7 billion human beings. When we look at around, when we reflect on the other creatures, they are the totally, countless, the measureless, immeasurables. Even though when we look at in the ocean, the fish, other creatures, there's billions of billions of billions of billions in different types of creatures. Even though when we look at, when you look around our like a HDB condominium, you can see so many insects, billions of insects there. So when we compare the number of human beings and the rest of the other sentient beings, that means the human life, the number of human beings is look like, remember, the atom in your finger, very little. Then why we have so many, numberless, immeasurable number of sentient beings? Why the human number is so little? Because the cause. In our daily life, so we have been doing so many the negative things. We perform all kinds of negative actions. The rest of the human beings also have been, performing lots of negative actions. Therefore, there are more other creatures than the human being. Then the hell being, so far, we don't have the ability to see them. If we have the ability to see the hell beings, the hell beings of number is, I think, much more than the human being. Also, we don't have the ability to see the hungry beings. If we could have the ability to see them, then their number also much greater than the human being because of the negative karmas. So far, we haven't seen in this lifetime the hell beings and hungry beings, but we have been seeing all other creatures who has always sufferings. Also, when we reflect our own daily actions, daily activities, we have lot more than we have lots of negative activity than the positive actions. Within 1 hour, when we really seriously reflect on our activities, the physical action, verbal actions, the mental actions, we perform a lot more negative action than the positive. Within this lifetime, when we reflect, when we calculate how many negative actions, negative activities I have been performing, how many positive actions, positive activities, particularly the pure positive action, pure positive activities. If you compare the two of them, then we will realize in this lifetime, my positive actions, positive activities, it look like, like a tiny insect next to the huge elephant. Therefore, our negative actions are so strong, is so huge. The positive action is a very simple, very little. So if we realize, oh, I'm be like that, that means, the next life, almost 100%, we go to lower realms, hell beings, hungry beings, animal beings. Then are we ready? Are we happy to go to lower realms? We are happy to born into hungry beings, hell beings, animals? No, definitely nobody wants to be hell beings, hungry beings, animal beings. Because in this lifetime, when we have sufferings, problems, difficulty, we feel it's so difficult to pass one day, 1 month, but so difficult. Since we born into lower realms, almost 24 hours, the whole life, we need to go through, all kinds of sufferings. Therefore, everybody, we don't want to born in lower realms. We don't want to be animals. We don't want to be hungry beings. We don't want to be hell beings. Then what is the best, way, the best, kind of way to stop taking a rebirth into lower realms? The best, the perfect practice is practice of the 10 pure virtuous action. I say pure. So why we have to add, pure virtuous actions. For example, last month we celebrate Vesak month. This month also, we are celebrating the Vesak month. Most of us celebrate Vesak month because we know, oh, they are celebrating Vesak month. Oh, this person, that person, my friend are doing fasting practice. Therefore, I want to do it. Mean doing the dharma practice is actually motivation is not so pure. So also we do recitation, chanting. Maybe the master asks you to do, or your friends, all your friends and relative, have been doing recitation. Therefore, you are doing. Also, when you do the recitation, the pure is not so pure. It is so difficult to, accumulate pure, positive actions. Sometimes the motivation is very pure. When we do the actual practice, there's no pure motivation. There's no perfect visualization. We don't chant perfectly. We look around, then we chant. While we are chanting, verbally we are chanting. People can see, we are doing dharma practice. We are practicing dharma. People can see, people can judge. Oh, those are very nice. And those people are very good. They are doing dharma practice. They are practicing dharma. But verbally we are chanting. Physically we sit as a lotus posture. Half or full doesn't matter. Our mind is not within the temple, not within the center, not within the room. Our mind is not within the practice. Our mind is wandering everywhere. Therefore, actual practice is an incomplete practice. Then at the end, when we're supposed to do dedication. Mostly we always dedicate the merit to benefit ourselves. Me. The second, my relatives, my brother, my sister, my father, my auntie, uncle, friends, relatives. The next, others, human being. Next, all sentient beings. That means we have a very strong self-centered attitudes. Therefore, when we do dedication, when we dedicate the merit, we dedicate wrongly. Therefore, we're not able to do the pure dharma practice. So through study, through the precious Garland, we must learn how to perform pure 10 virtuous actions. Therefore, knowing the consequence, the results of the 10 negative actions. Then, next slide, 100% sure we can have a happy life. Be born into, higher realms. Practice the 10 pure virtuous actions. Not easy. We should not give up. We try our best to perform the pure 10 virtuous action, pure. For example, practicing recitation. At the beginning, before you chant, before you recite a mantra, you must think, now I'm going to chant this mantra, I'm going to recite this mantra, I'm going to do this chanting to benefit all sentient beings first. In order to benefit all human beings, in order to benefit all my relatives, in order to benefit all my friends, and in order to benefit me, you must put the last, not the first. That means the motivation is very great, motivation is very pure. Then while you are reciting the mantra, which mantra you recite doesn't matter. So we chanting, you are chanting, which chanting you are performing doesn't matter. Make sure you purely visualize the Buddha or all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, particularly the Buddha whom you are chanting, whom you are praying. Then the duration also not so important. You can, if you chant perfectly with a pure motivation, chanting longer is good. If you cannot chant with a good motivation, if you cannot chant the proper visualization, then you do shorter. You do the shorter, short duration, not do long duration, because then become more incomplete. At the end, you must think, during my recitation, during my chanting, during my practice, I have accumulated the merit. The merit I cannot see through my flesh eye, but all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they can see the merit which is I accumulated this time. The merit is huge because the motivation was great. Actual practice was perfect. Now it's time to dedicate. Then the great merit, we should not accumulate only benefit you and your family. You must first dedicate for all sentient beings, then all human beings, then all your relatives, then your families, then you. Then you are doing the perfect dedication. Otherwise, if you dedicate all the merit to benefit only you, then the dedication merit will be very little. Only benefit for you, cannot benefit for others. Means you have a huge land close to cover many people, But you you totally fold the huge clothes, make it very similar, you just put by yourself. You are protecting yourself. It's like that. Therefore, as a first step, we must learn how to perform the pure, perfect, virtuous action. Doesn't matter which one you perform, recitation, chanting, prostration, practicing the 10 virtuous action, not killing, not doing any sexual or not doing any sexual misconduct, not lying, not stealing, and so and so. Pass. Then yes, through this, pure 10 virtuous action, so we always will born as a human or devas. But still we are in samsara. Right now we are human being. Physically we are healthy. Mentally we are okay. So we have more than what we need. But still we feel I am not happy. All these people are human beings. They have all the necessary condition, more or less. They have. Still they feel I'm not happy. Even though when you look at the most of the richest person in Singapore, most of the richest person in Asia, most of the richest person in the world, in this planet, this world, they have more than that. They have many houses with all the luxury facility. They have a few hundred different, luxury cars. They can eat for breakfast more than 100 types of food and drink. But physically, same as us. Mentally, they are maybe more worse than us. That means this is the indication, even though we are human beings, we have the luxury opportunity life, but not happy. Mean nobody can be happy in samsara. Nobody can achieve, the perfect or ultimate happiness. Therefore, we should not be just happy to have, human life. Then second, we need to reflect the actual reality of samsara. Whether you are born as a human, lower realms, celestial beings, you reach to the highest, level of the samsara, still you are in samsara. The temping, you get better life. For the temping, you have a little, short resting time. Later or sooner, so we're going to fall again in the lower realms. Therefore, second, you must think, I don't just want to be happy as a human being all the time, stay in samsara. I want to get out. I need to free from the samsara. There's a huge palace. In the palace, there are so many different rooms. Some room has a little light. Some room is totally dark. Some room has a better food. So actually, you are moving within the palace in different rooms. Sometimes you stay in the very darkness place. Sometimes you have to stay in the room which has a light. Sometimes you have to stay in the room there's no food. Sometimes you can stay in the room as a perfect light, all kinds of food, all kinds of drinks, all kinds of people come and give you entertainment. The next, if you need to move other place. Therefore, you should not be just happy with this facility. If there's a way, there's a chance to get out from the palace, you must get out. Doesn't matter what facility you have. Therefore, the samsara look like the huge palace. It's a different rooms, it's a different condition. So we are always going through within different rooms, still in the palace. We cannot run. because the palace has a very solid fence, have a high, fence. We cannot get out. Therefore, we cannot get out from samsara because we have a strong, solid attachment, anger, ego. Particularly, we have very, very strong ignorance. So we need to, break down the fence, the solid wall of the palace. Means we need to destroy our own anger. Anger can be destroyed when we destroy attachment. Attachment can be destroyed when we destroy ignorance. Ignorance can be destroyed when we realize selflessness or emptiness. Therefore, all of you, must remember the Four Noble Truths. 12 links, link interdependence. Particularly remember the definition, the meaning of the Ras Sailing Sutara, how we are circled in the samsara, how we can break the change. The second, your more important practice is practicing Four Noble Truths, practicing 8-fold paths for free from samsara and cause of samsara. The first is important, the second is more important than the third. Now we know if I get rid of my ignorance, then there's no attachment. Then there's no hatred and anger, no attachment, no ego, no jealousy. All the ego, jealousy, pride, and everything, depression, anxiety, everything based on attachment. Somebody has a very strong attachment toward someone. You consider he or she is my closer, person in the world. When the person died, when the person left this world, you're going to have a depression. First, a light depression. Second, medium. Then slowly you have a very, kind of deep depression. You go in the deep depression because of the attachment. Therefore, as a living as a family, we must have a, like a relationship or friendship, connectivity with everybody, every families. We must care every families, all the relatives, friends and people. We should not attach. We should not have an attachment. Just care as a family. Should not attach. When you have an attachment, when you lost the dear and near one, definitely you have a anxiety and depression and loneliness. No attachment, then no anxiety, no depression, no ego, no pride, no jealousy. Then no attachment, then no anger, no hatred, no harming. But still, you, through practicing the Four Noble Truths, truly interdependence, you can be free from samsara. You can be free from the root of samsara. Then what about the rest of the human beings, rest of the sentient beings? Can you ignore the rest of the human being? Can we ignore the rest of the sentient being? We cannot. We cannot. If you always, think only yourself, you totally ignore all other human beings, you totally ignore the rest of the sentient being, then you are very, very, very selfish person. Selfish person. Also, we know, me and other sentient being has a, strong, inseparable kind of connection. Whatever you have, most of you, I think, already have light breakfast or drink tea or coffee or green tea. I think all of you had something before the class where the drink, the food comes from. Who produce the coffee beans, the tea leaf, the rice? Who produce the lights, the air condition? Who produce your clothes? Whatever we have is from others. Even though you have a good reputation because of other, you have a good positions because of other, you have a knowledge how to use laptop, how to use computer, how to use phone, how to use other equipments because others. You learn from others, from your teacher, from your friends. Your knowledge also come from others, depends other. Also your happiness depends on other. Still, you totally ignore other. You totally, become very senseless, careless other is no good. Therefore, third practice, we must consider others. We must care others. Because my happiness is their happiness. Their happiness must consider my happiness. Just think about, like a couple living in one place as a couple. If the husband is happy, healthy, the husband is a good person, the wife will be happy, calm. If the wife is happy, healthy, very, very sincere person, the husband feel happy. That means the husband happiness is the wife happiness. The wife happiness is the husband happiness. The wife successful is the husband successful. The husband successful is the wife successful. That means you're successful is other successful. Therefore, we always need to, cares all sentient beings, particularly all human beings. Therefore, third practice, we need to practice. We need to, have one kind of path, how to benefit all sentient beings. The most important path to benefit all sentient beings without exception is bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is very, very important. It is not enough to say important. We must have a kind of proof. Let's say most of you know very well the 14th Dalai Lama. He's just a Tibetan monk. He's a simple Tibetan monk. Can you imagine, the famous of the 14th Dalai Lama? He's the most famous person in this world. Nobody can be famous as him. All the politicians all over the world, all the business people all over the world, all the educated people, all the scientists, all the ordinary people all over the world, they admire Dalai Lama. He is not the richest person. He doesn't have a lot of properties. He doesn't own, a lot of companies. How he, became famous? Not because of the king, not because of the monk, not because of the Tibetan. He became famous because every day he practiced compassion, bodhicitta. Then a person who ever go around him, close to him, see him, people feel the happiness, enjoyment because of power of compassion. Also, since he wake up every morning, the first he thinks all sentient beings and generate compassion. He always wished to live long life. He always wished to remain in samsara to benefit all sentient beings. Therefore, just based on the Dalai Lama, we must know the compassion is very important to benefit all sentient beings. If you are always be compassionate, physically you can be very healthy. Not only that, the most important one, if we practice compassion, great compassion, pure compassion, bodhicitta is next to it. Bodhicitta will arise automatically. When you have a bodhicitta, then the Buddhahood is next to it. Vishnunath is too far away. The third practice, the most and first, practicing 10 virtues, the pure 10 virtues actually important. Second, practicing Four Noble Truths, dependent arising, emptiness, so as the more important. Then the practicing great compassion, bodhicitta, is the most important practice in our life. Third, how we can be Buddha. For example, when we practice compassion, we realize my anger is reducing. Last month, for example, let's say I totally hate the person. I don't like at all the person. You have a strong anger and hatred towards the person. Then beginning of this month, somehow you think, oh, I'm so unhappy because I'm very angry on the person. Then you practice love and compassion for a few days. Then you feel, oh, you become very calm. You become better person. You feel you become happy person. You feel you can have a better sleeping because of the practicing compassion, reducing anger. Same thing when we practice the non-attachment, essenceless, meaningless, formless, then attachment going to reduce. Essenceless mean, remember in the precious Garland, they explain how to control attachment. Then how we can achieve the Buddha's body. Yes, through practicing compassion, kindness, tolerance, six perfection, bodhicitta, we're going to eliminate all the negative thoughts. At the end, we will have only positive thoughts, pure thoughts. Our mind becomes very pure. What about our body? This body is made of flesh and bones and bloods. It cannot be transformed into pure body. How we can achieve Buddha's body? So today, we discuss a little bit how to achieve the Buddha's body. From the chapter 3. Chapter 3 means the stanza number start from 201. Stanza number 201. Yeah. Great King, hear from the great scriptures of the great vehicle how the marks of the Buddha arise from inconceivable merit. Therefore, we are not a king, but we are, look like a king. So just imagine, Nagarjuna is giving teaching to you, great king. Hear from the great scripture of the great vehicle how to accumulate merit, how the merits can cause to achieve, Buddha's body, particularly all the marks of the Buddha bodies. How the marks of the Buddha arising from inconceivable merit. The merits giving a rise to all solitary realizer, to learn and non-learn, and all the merit of the transcendent world is measureless, like the universe is said. Simply what he is saying, so remember the two kayas, Rupa Kaya, which is referred to the actual Buddha's form, the body. The Dharmakaya is referred to the cessation of the Buddhas. When Buddha sees all the negativities, the Buddha achieves cessation, the pure state of mind. So that pure state of mind, we can achieve through practice the path. The Buddha's body we must achieve. We can accomplish through accumulating merit. Through such as merit, 10 times extended, 1 hair pore of the Buddhas is achieved. That means the 10 times of the world merits extended, 1 hair, 1 piece of hair pore of the Buddhas is achieved. All the hairs pores of the Buddha arise in just the same way. That means 10 times merit arises 1 hair. Then 100 times, millions of times you need to add and add. So now this means saying how it is difficult to achieve, 1 piece of the Buddha here. You need to accumulate great amounts of merit. Next, we just jump, jump onto stanza number 210, 210. But the cause of the even the form body of the Buddhas are as immeasurables as the world. How then could cause of the truth Buddha's truth body of the measures? So when we think about the Buddha's body, we can imagine roughly the Buddha body look like this and that. He or she has these marks. Actually, the Buddha body, none of the sentient being, particularly ordinary being, cannot measure. Then is the logic. The result or the consequence is immeasurable. How we can measure the cause of the Buddha's body. Be, measured. We cannot. Because the Buddha body is immeasurable. Even though we cannot imagine how we can imagine the cause of the Buddha's bodies. Then 211, if the cause of the all things are small, but they produce extensive effect, the thoughts, the measureless cause of the Buddhahood have measurable effect should be eliminated. Now the first 2 lines is, if the cause of the all things are small, but they produce extensive effect. For example, let's say you have one piece of, the tree, There's a tree in India, you can see, even though Indonesia, I didn't see, haven't seen in Singapore. There's a one particular tree, it really going to extend, huge under the tree, maybe more than 10,000 people can sit under the tree. So let's say you have one single piece of seeds. You can measure the seeds, the size, whatever you can measure. Then you plant the seeds in the ground. Then after 100 years, the seeds produce a sprout. The sprout sprout the tree. The tree, become huge trees with a lot of flowers, with a lot of fruits. Even though the seed is measurable, the effect, the result is immeasurable, general. The second is the thought, measureless cause. For example, the bodhicitta, the great compassion, are the immeasurable, measureless cause of the Buddhahood, have measurable effect, should be eliminated. So the cause is immeasurable, that the effect must be immeasurable. If the effect is immeasurable, the Buddha body is immeasurable, the cause of the Buddha bodies must be immeasurable. We should not think there's a limit cause to achieve Buddhahood. The form body of the Buddha arises from the collection of merit. Therefore, every time we have talking about cumulative merit, right? The form body of the Buddha arises from where? The collection of merit. Then there's two types of Buddha bodies. The truth body in brief of king arising from collection of the wisdom. That means the truth body or the Dharmakaya is same. Dharmakaya, the truth body is same. So the form of the bodies and the inside there's a cessation. We say, truth body. In brief, O king, arising from collection of wisdom. That means collection of merit, collection of wisdom. So generally merit is kind of general name. The merit can be divided into two types. But he said, arise from the collection of merits, the truth body in brief, O king, arise from the collection of wisdom. Now here you always need to remember, in the reality, there are two truths, conventional and ultimate truth. Based on conventional truth, then all the dependent arising, mainly based on the conventional truth, then we practice compassion, kindness, 5 perfections, bodhicitta, then we accumulate, collection of 1 types of merit. In the reality, there's an ultimate truth, like a selflessness, emptiness, or Mahamudara, or Chakchen. Based on practicing this ultimate truth, we will accumulate the wisdom merit, collection of the wisdom. Then the wisdom actually cause to achieve the truth Buddha's body or the Dharmakaya. The 2 truths, 2 practices, then 2 types of Buddha's body. Thus, these 2 collections, what are the 2 collections? Collections of the merit, collections of the wisdom. Thus, these 2 collections are the cause of attaining Buddhahood. So in some always rely upon merit and wisdom. So achieving Buddhahood achieving two types of the Buddha body, actual the body, and the truth body depends on practicing two practices, methods and wisdom. Through practicing methods, we can accumulate, the merit accumulation, the method plus accumulation. Through meditating on emptiness and selflessness, we will accumulate the collection of the wisdom. Then we can achieve Buddhahood. Therefore, he said, so in Sums, always rely upon merit and wisdom. In practice, the method side, accumulate, the merits, collection of the merits. Practice the wisdom, always meditate on impermanence, selflessness, emptiness, then we will accumulate collection of wisdom, the wisdom cause to achieve the true Buddha's body. Then suddenly many people feel, I need to accumulate, millions of merit. I need to accumulate immeasurable merit. You feel very discouraged. You feel quite annoying because you think I cannot accumulate that amount of merit. We need huge amount of, collection of wisdom, collection of merit to achieving the true body, the truth body and the kaya, dharma, rupa kaya and dharma kaya. Then we feel I cannot accumulate that amount of merit because I'm very simple, ordinary person. And next one, very important. Do not feel inadequate about this accumulation of merit to achieve enlightenment. Since reasoning and scripture can restore one's spirit, we should not feel discouraged for accumulating, two types of merit. Because we need to use the reasoning and scripture to, become courage, have a lot of encouragement. Then what are the, what kind of reasoning and logic we have? How to accumulate, two types of merit, very easy way in the short time. The next one, 215, 215. Just as in all directions, you look, all directions. In front, you can feel the air. On the right side, you can feel the air. On the left side, you can feel the air. Behind, also you can feel the air. Look at in front, you can see the earth. All direction, you can see the four elements. In all direction, space, earth, water, fire, wind are without limit. There's no limit of the water. Water doesn't have a limit. It's a limitless. Space, limitless. Air, limitless. Earth, limitless. Then the next one, so suffering sentient beings are limitless. Space limitless, therefore, suffering sentient beings limitless. Water limitless, suffering being limitless. Earth limitless, suffering being limitless. So what is the connection limitless water and sentient being? Actually here saying we don't have a number how many sentient beings exist in the samsara. Through this, their compassion, then when we generate compassion towards all sentient beings, a sentient being is limitless, our compassion also become limitless. Our prayers become limitless. Our dedication become limitless. Then we can accumulate limitless of merits. So suffering sentient beings are limitless. Therefore, when you generate compassion towards all sentient beings, your compassion becomes limitless because you have a compassion towards each of the sentient beings. Through their compassion, Bodhisattvas are determined to lift this limitless sentient being out of suffering and establish them in the Buddhahood. So when you wish all sentient beings free from suffering, then your aspiration becomes limitless. Particularly based on compassion, when you wish all sentient beings free of suffering, establish them Buddhahood, then you can accumulate limitless merit. That's me actually saying how we can simple way can accumulate limitless merit. Just generate compassion to all sentient beings. Practice compassion, practice love for all sentient beings. Generate bodhicitta to benefit all sentient beings. Very simple way, within a short time, we can accumulate a great amount of merits. Establish them in the Buddhahood. Hence, whether sleeping or not sleeping, after thoroughly assuming such as compassion, those who remain steadfast, even though they may not be meticulous. Now this one, we have to not just imagine, practically, actually, we really need to generate compassion. When you have, great compassion, when you have the bodhicitta, whether you are sleeping, whether you are talking with someone, you are eating, whatever you are doing, you have been accumulating merits. Even though you're angry with someone, you have two minds. One, you have a compassion, bodhicitta. On the surface, you have an anger. The anger accumulates negative karma. At the same time, the great compassion, bodhicitta, is accumulating merit continuously. Therefore, it's very clear here said, whether sleeping or not sleeping, after thoroughly assuming such as compassion, those who remain, steadfast, with, kind of distracted, with annoying state, even though they may not be meticulous, not stopping, not going to stopping accumulating merits. Now here what we need to know, we have to make sure you are just imagining, generating compassion. You are not just imagining generating bodhicitta. Practically, in reality, we really have to generate compassion. Then bodhicitta will come. Then Buddhahood very close to us. Until now, we talk so many wonderful things, achieving Buddhahood, achieving omniscience, born into pure land, great compassion. We talk about a lot of beautiful things. In our hand, we don't have anything. We talk about emptiness. In our mind, in our hand, we don't understand emptiness. We just talk. We talk great compassion. It's just verbally, we saying compassion good, great compassion good. In the practice, we don't really practice great compassion. Even though you don't have a kind of sincere, pure compassion, the people who live around you. That means many years we talk about all the beautiful things. None of the beautiful thing in our hand. It's quite sad. Therefore, if we really have compassion, we will accumulate merit. Every time, whether you are sleeping, you are arguing, you are eating, whatever you are doing, you are accumulating merit continuously. Like, you sit in the, auto cars, you set up the time in going right and left, you just set up the timing. You set the auto car, you sit in the car, you press the button, the car will move wherever you go. You are sleeping, whether you are talking, you are arguing, whatever you are doing in the car is moving towards the right direction. So we need to set up the auto like a car, the bodhicitta, great compassion, the wisdom. So not just say verbally, we must have the great compassion in our hands. Always accumulate merit as limitless as all sentient being. The merit will be limitless because we, focus on limitless being. Since sentient beings are limitless, know then the since cause are limitless. Limitless Buddhahood is not the hard to attain. It's talking about the four limitless. First, always accumulate merit as limit as all sentient beings. Since sentient beings are limitless, know then the since the cause are limitless. Limitless Buddhahood is not hard to attain. Therefore, we should not be just selfish person. Not only thinking your family, relatives, must think all sentient beings. Then you include, your friends include in, your family include within the sentient being. Always think all sentient beings. Bodhisattva stay for limitless time in the world. World refer to samsara. Limitless time. For limitless embodied beings, they seek. Second, limitless in body. Third, the limitless good qualities of the enlightenment. And the perform limitless virtuous action. Remember the four limitless. Stay in the samsara limitlessly and will achieve limitless Buddha's body. Wish to achieve limitless Buddha bodies and limitless good qualities and limitless virtuous action. Hence, though enlightenment is limitless, how could they not attain it with these four limitless collections without being delayed for long time? So, whether we achieve Buddhahood or not, is depend on your practice, particularly depend on the practice of compassion bodhicitta. The Buddhahood is, short distance or long distance. It depends on you. Your practice is not incomplete. Your practice is very biased. Then the Buddhahood is very far, impossible to reach. Also, free from samsara, free from the cause of samsara, also depends on our practice. If our practice is very complete for every moment, every day, then free from samsara is not far. Free from the cause of samsara is not so far. Therefore, we don't just, read books, talk to each other, because we have one problem. It's a very serious problem as a Buddhist. When we meet our Dharma friends, we always happy to give advice. Do this practice, do that practice. Meet this guru, meet this master, do this practice. But we ourselves, you yourself, not doing any of the practice perfectly, purely. Also, we have another serious problem as a Buddhist. So we talk great compassion. When I really observe, the Buddhist people and the other non-Buddhist people, non-Buddhist people like a Muslim, Christian, Jewish, they have a better heart than us. Because we always talk. We talk great compassion, but we don't have a compassion towards all sentient beings. We talk patient, practice patient. We are never be patient person. Argue with your family, argue with your friends, fighting with your relatives, fighting on your property, fighting on your position. Therefore, we really have to, stay on the ground, sit on the ground, start all the practice from the foundation. Don't just talk and act and talk. But we have problem, we always talk. Don't do the proper practice. This is a serious problem as a Buddhist. We must talk compassion, be compassionate. We must talk great compassion. Actually, we must have a great compassion to all sentient beings. We must talk patience. We must be patient. We must have patience for everybody. We must talk bodhicitta. At the same time, we must have bodhicitta in our heart. We must talk wisdom. We must have the wisdom in our hands. Therefore, many of us have been studying many years. We think I have been practicing Dharma many years. Actually, we not really have been practicing Dharma. We have been studying, we are accumulating, we are collecting all the information of Dharma. Also, we are accumulating a lot of knowledge of other religion tradition. We are kind of collectors. We collect all the knowledge. We are not practitioner. Within this two, be practitioner is more important than the collector. Therefore, so today is the last class in June. So make sure, since today, you have to be practical person. Don't just talk, don't just think. Practice the Dharma seriously. Because most of us, today we have a 41, Dharma friend. Most of us over 50, 60, we don't have many years to go. We never know when we off this world. So before we off, we must do proper Dharma practice. At least when we are dying, at least we won't have a regret. We must die with a happy mind. In the past, I don't know, previous life, I don't know, I cannot remember. This life, I did bad things. Also, I purify all the negative actions. Also, I have been doing a lot of good things. I'm seriously practicing, Dharma until today. No regret for this life. No worry about next life. We can die happily. We can die with the excitement, exciting to go next life. Because we are over like 50, 60, 70. When we moment the death, our body become very old. Then we have a very excited to go next life. Then next life you can have a fresh, healthy baby body. You're going to see another happy life. Therefore, be serious in your practice. Okay, thank you so much. Right now we have like 10 minutes or 10 or 15 minutes. Let's say 10 minutes, 5 minutes Q&A. Then we can stop.
Yeah, dear Dharma brothers and sisters, if you have any questions or things need to be clarified, feel free to raise your hands or you can type in the chat window.
Okay, I don't think there's a question, so we do dedication. So from India, so I will, we will have a few classes based on the precious Garland. Then I'm thinking, which text stable for bit advanced, because this is your third year going to study Dharma. So I will think about which text is stable, then I will inform ESCO, prepare the textbook. Thank you. At the end, whatever merit we have accumulated for since we start the Dharma class from beginner until today, all the merits we have accumulated, all the merit we have accumulated through our positive actions, all the merit we have accumulated through daily study and practice, all the merit collect together. First, we dedicate for achieving Buddhahood to benefit all sentient beings. Second, we dedicate all the merit to benefit all sentient beings, particularly the being in the hell, hungry realm, animal realms, particularly the merit we dedicate solve the problem between Russia and Ukraine. And also we dedicate the war, the fighting must stop very quickly, don't extend rest of the European country. Last, we dedicate the merit for live long life, all the qualified teacher, guru, master who teach Dharma all over the world, whether follow Theravada, Mahayana, which Dharma follow doesn't matter. It is so important to live long life, all the Dharmas, teachers and guru to benefit all sentient beings, particularly benefit all the devotees. Jamba Bhavi Jedara Jamba Dam Kundo Sambo Deyan Deji Deda Gunji Jesu Dalo Jenge Wan Deda Tamjera Chanju Sanjo Rimbo Jema Yeba Na Kigyu Gewa Nyamba Meba Yang Kone Kundo Pelwa Jide Yambe Gegan Tamje Do Mine Chune Zasar Zate Matu Muge Guba Gunjin Sirine de Thank you, then have a happy Sunday. When we see in the Zoom class next time, I'm really hoping all of you become better practitioner, happier person, more flexible person, have a better understanding of the life, better understanding in Dharma, for better understanding for rest of the sentient being and human being. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.